Coach, a little feistiness out here today. It looked like maybe a little more fire with even just the shoulder pads on. Is that something you want to see, or maybe a balance a little bit?
There's always a balance, but when we start, it's got to be this way. All right, so there's going to be little outbreaks here and there. I'd rather tone them back than have to say yeah. So the physicality was good for the most part. There's plays here and there that we need to correct, but overall effort, physicality, and finishing to the ball, and then trying to finish runs at the end of plays and blocking downfield was a little bit closer to what we expect.
We didn't obviously get to see Cale Reeder in the spring, but certainly stands out today that he likes to talk a little bit. Is that something that he's always just had in him from the time you started coaching him?
It's grown, but he's just excited right now. I know that. So I'm excited for him. He's pretty good.
Back-to-back days, Mola's made a one-handed catch in the one-on-one drills. You know, with that sort of frame, that sort of size, I mean, obviously two-handed catches are good too, but how much are you kind of looking at him to potentially be a red zone target, a guy you can kind of throw those jump balls to and he can go up and get them?
I wouldn't just say red zone. If he's open, he'll get the ball. It's up to the quarterback to put it on him, and it's his job to catch it. If it's in his framework, just like every player, they're expected to catch the ball and make the most of it. So he's had a couple great plays. He's also had a couple letdown plays too. So, and that's just not him. That's everybody. We just got to grow with consistency and focus. You know, this gets emotional out here, and as much trash talking as it goes on, like, you got to reset yourself and live the next play, because the next play could lose you the game.
You talked about how much you ask out of your tight ends. Like, where does that kind of philosophy come from, and how do you make sure that they have the right tools to, you know, do what you're asking out of them?
Well, it comes from when you play with so many tight ends that can be physical at the line of scrimmage and run block. You need extra hats in the run game. Otherwise, you can't stop the run. But when you have a skill set to be in a bigger personnel and then shift people out wide, and they can catch a ball as good as a wide receiver, it makes it harder on a defense, because the bigger the personnels get, the harder it is to defend. So over the course of my career, some of the best teams that we've gone against have been multiple in the tight end sets, and I've learned how to combat those things and grow defensively. And it's extremely difficult because there's a lot of communicating parts to the defense that you have to adjust to constantly. So we'll probably see more from our offense and uniqueness to prepare us throughout a season. I know a lot of teams that we're going to be playing are more wide open spread and tempo, and there'll be a portion of this camp where we prepare for that as well.
Devin Ellison looked a little gimpy, maybe limping a little bit toward the end of practice today.
He's fine. He's fine. He's just got a little heel. Just trying to monitor it. He's been going extremely hard. I'm proud of Dev. He's grown a lot in his short time that he's been here. Got all A's this last summer. Kid, junior college player that is extremely talented. He's growing in every way. So I'm proud of Dev, and he's pushing through right now. We're holding him back. He's not holding himself out.
And then Ajani's made a few, pretty deep, accurate throws over the first 3 days. What have you made of his fall camp so far?
Well, it's the third day. This is why we came together as well, right? It's the health of the team. We had a couple guys out today just with illness. So to try to keep people healthy, but also making sure, a couple of Johnny's first sessions, he dealt with a lot of bad snaps. So it's hard to say how great a quarterback is if the ball's always hitting his knees. Overall, there's got to be a clear, defined guy that steps up, takes control, and everybody can see it. And hopefully throughout these practices we continue to learn from it, and we can continue to see who's improving that at the fastest rate.
Jeremiah seems to be one of those guys who's really embraced the downfield blocking aspect of receiving what you expect. What have you seen from him, and just how he contributes outside of just pass catching?
Yeah, he's just a great team player. Since he's been here, he's bought in. Really a humble kid that works his tail off, and he's faster than maybe even what I expected, and he's done a really good job, and he plays with great effort, and those guys will see the field for sure here.
When you look at just creating an environment where obviously you have this combativeness, you have this competitiveness, you have this trash talking, but also you get, you learn and you get things done. How do you create that environment and make sure that it remains productive?
I think when you have a bunch of guys that are committed to one common goal, they know that they need each other just as much as they need to win, right? So you got to create an edge. At times that borders on the line of out of control, and you got to reel them back. But like I said, I'd rather tell them to hold off a little bit in a controlled setting than to tell them to go when it's time to go. So we got to start fast in games, and we got to out physical people, and we got to out hustle people, and we got to be tougher than people. So we're as good as the great of our parts, and we got a lot of talent here, but we got to be in unison together.
Who are maybe one or two guys who we haven't mentioned yet who have really stood out to you?
Well, today Kale Reeder stood out, not just vocally, but just him making plays. For a young guy, Trill wasn't out here today because he's sick. He stood out. For a young guy, Demarius Russell will be a special player here. I believe that, whether he's ready right away or not, he's way ahead mentally at the safety position than many safeties that we've come across. He'll have growing pains like he did today. Picked off the ball, ran it back for a touchdown, was basking in his glory. The very next play, they took a shot over his head and they scored on him. So those are all moments to learn from. But there's a ton of guys. It's just got to be consistent. Many of these players I've known for years, so it's a little bit easier for me to say what I expect out of them. And the same consistent guys keep showing up. Josh Meredith is maybe one of the most consistent wide receivers we have. So is it always a splash play? No, it's not, but it's always consistent. And those consistent plays are, it's the ability to be able to trust that they're going to show up on game day and do their job.
Is Demarius maybe even a little further advanced than you expected when you guys recruited him to SDSU and then obviously to here?
We knew his skill set. I coached his brother. Savion Williamson is his brother, and was with us at SDSU. And so we had the kind of upper hand in just getting to know him over the years. And but yeah, I would say you never know what somebody mentally can take in and how they adjust to the college game, especially from a high school at the level in which he played at. It's kind of on the outskirts of Minneapolis, so like smaller school, and he's grown a lot. One thing that we do a great job of, I believe, as coaches, is we try to prepare the incoming freshmen with enough information to come in and have success when they get here, so they don't feel out of whack and they're not digesting everything at once.